Hello, guys. So I'm going to be doing a collective reading for the Rose Priestesses and Priests. So if you feel like you're part of this group, this reading might have messages for you. The way I can describe the Rose Priestesses and Priests is we come from basically the outside world. So we come from outside of this universe. We hold the codes of the rose, which is it's like a spiral. So when you look at a rose, it's in this spiral shape, and this is the code of the 13th layer, basically, which is outside of this universe and is related to Jesus and Sophia, who also hold this code and come from the outside. You could basically see them as the divine masculine and feminine, and the rose priestesses and priests are here on earth on the lowest level, or one of the lowest levels, with those codes. Okay. So if you're one of these rose priests or priestesses, you will definitely feel like you're kind of on the outside looking in. You're not of this world. You easily see through things. You might be on a twin flame journey because you are kind of playing out that divine masculine, divine feminine relationship. So let's see what messages we get. So, what are some messages for the rose priests and priestesses right now? I'm getting this feeling of we're almost at the end. Okay, it's like this idea of reaching the end of a cycle, and it's kind of like we're at the tail end. Everything's ending. Okay. So I am seeing a lion. The rose priestesses and priests are connected to this lion energy, and many of you guys do have like connections to Lyrans for sure. I just heard smile. You are kind of like a living reminder of this infinite love, infinite faith. So this is something that you just have naturally, and this is kind of part of your purpose. So many of you are actually untouchable when it comes to spiritual warfare. And I don't know if you've felt this yourself, but there have been times where everyone else is feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm like really feeling this full moon or something like that. And then I won't feel it, but then other times I will feel like it's a full moon, but it's almost like because we're untouchable there, like we have a lot of control over our sovereignty, over our spiritual power. So just remember that. So there's no reason to be afraid of any kind of spiritual warfare. Like you are very protected and you're untouchable. A lot of you guys are in a warrior position in higher planes. So you might be like a very key part of the spiritual war. So if you ever have dreams about this, or I don't know, you feel like you're really targeted by someone or something, it's because you are engaged in this war. I keep hearing things about a countdown. So I'm telling you, it's like we're counting down to the end right now. Maybe you can read up about this cycle that we're in and what that means. That's funny. I just heard cinnamon, and cinnamon, oh no, that could be helpful. to this group right now. Herbs and spices, they have certain energetic qualities. So that's interesting. Why cinnamon? Cinnamon can help bring back memories, apparently. So it can help bring back memories of your past, and especially the past lives of the rose priestesses and priests, because they often travel together. So I don't know if you've heard of different spiritual groups like the Cathars, all of these different kind of collectives throughout history. So yes, cinnamon is significant to our group. And that's funny, I always used to hear cinnamon, like when I would do readings for myself. So that's interesting. So you are never alone. I actually see all of us in this gold room, and we're all connected spiritually, like we're all connected energetically. So you're never alone. I know it feels like you are here, but you're really not. What's happening right now is a healing of the mother figure and even grandmother. So you might be seeing this in society, in your own families, even where it's almost like the mother is waking up from her sleep. So I specifically get more of an older mother. So if this is happening either to you or in your family, like it's no mistake. And I did say in a previous reading, I think last January in 2025, that women will be rising in society and mothers specifically. They'll just be gaining more respect as the years go on. Basically, your superpower is your faith in love. That is what you are here to exercise. So the more you can connect to that, the more you will be supporting yourself and your life. What else can we do to support ourselves? What you can also do is to connect with other people in this group. So just having those interactions, it's almost like you remember, You remember who you really are. Those little interactions, those can really help. It can benefit us to release our voice in ways like singing and humming. I also wanted to do a little bit of channeling on the divine masculine and feminine, and just do some messages for anyone who's in a twin flame dynamic or on this twin flame journey, which I'm sure is pretty much all of you. So, what are some messages? Whoa. Okay. So, I'm just getting this reminder of your end is their end. You are working together, even if you don't consciously realize it. So, you are both working towards the same end and the same goal. And I'll just tell you that the person who you probably think is your counterpart or your divine feminine or masculine counterpart isn't. So you may have not even met them yet. What are some messages for the divine feminine? So for the rose priestesses specifically. This is basically the time for you to shine, for you to be your most brilliant self. You can see that society is kind of changing to prop up the feminine. So you might feel this yourself in your personal life. You want to really connect to your heart space and specifically connecting to this idea of one love. So I'm sure you've heard the song One Love. There's a reason why we have that song. It comes from a very high place. And this idea of one love, it's not about everyone being equal and everyone being the same. It is more about that infinite love of Sophia, of the rose priestesses and priests. It's that code, of God, basically. So that's something to think about and to connect to. And you can feel that in yourself. You can just really connect to your body and connect to your heart space, and you will feel that one love within yourself. I'm just getting that there isn't really a lot of work left to do. The only thing left to do is to just be. So to actually just be yourself, be in your body, be connected to that one love. I know it sounds cheesy, but that's what I get. Okay, and let me see if there's any messages for the divine masculine. I can also check just what they're kind of focusing on right now because I have a feeling that I have mostly women listening to this. So, what is the divine masculine focusing on right now? So, I'm getting that the divine masculine is also reaching the end of his illusion. So, that is a very key step in the masculine spiritual journey where you'll go through your life and then you have this awakening where you realize everything was built on lies, basically, or you weren't living an authentic life, basically. So I get a lot of them are realizing this right now, and they're building a business. Maybe they have an idea and they're gonna like try to build it. This is part of their purpose in this life, is to build something. Whereas I feel like the divine feminine, like we're good, like we just have to exist in love. We just have to be living examples of love. But yeah, I feel like that's what they're focusing on right now. I feel like they have a lot of ideas kind of buzzing through their minds, thinking, oh, maybe I could do this. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I could build this. So some messages for the divine masculine are the message for the divine masculine is you don't have to do it by yourself. So whatever you want to build, you should team up with trusted friends. Also, you're encouraged to read more spiritual texts. So whatever text really speaks to you, but men, they tend to do well with that. Maybe you have noticed. They tend to do really well with being like, they'll read something and they'll get really affected by it. So this is also a time to be reading a lot of books, maybe some older spiritual texts. What books should they be reading? Well, weird. I'm just getting like all of the spiritual texts, like literally the Bible, the Quran, like just reading that stuff because it will help you really understand what's been going on like over the past decades. Okay, so that's it for the first part of this reading. I'm going to do more on my Substack. So if you click the link below, that will take you to the extended version of this reading. And I'm going to look into what will be our role in the future. So in several years from now, and maybe just some other things that come up. The link for that will be in the description below. And if you're interested in getting a more personal reading, I also have the link to my readings shop below. So thank you so much for listening. And I will either see you in the extended reading or I'll see you in the next video.